All right, it's time for that Covrprice Top 10. Guys, we're going back 3 years. All right, guys, we're going to get into this list. It's a fun one. We're going all the way back to 2019. This is pre-pandemic numbers. Before we get into it, you know what to do. Subscribe, leave a comment, follow the social medias, YouTube. Well, this is YouTube, right? TikTok, Instagram, and of course, Whatnot Weekly Auctions. That's it. Keep it simple. Let's get into the list. This list comes to our friends from Covrprice. And guys, give them a follow over on YouTube. Subscribe to their channel. They put out some good stuff as well. We're going to go back 3 years and talk about the prices then, talk about the prices now. Were these books a bust? Were they a boost? Let's see how you guys did. And let's start out with number 10. This is Star Wars: The Rise of Kylo Ren, number 1. This is the Carnero variant. It's a 1-in-25 ratio. Now, 3 years ago, Rise of Skywalker released into theaters with Ben Solo shedding his Kylo Ren moniker. This 1-in-25 was very well timed with the film's content. It had a high raw sale of $55. 3 years later, it eventually hit a height of $400 for a 9.8 in 2021, back when the market prices were going nuts. Today, that 9.8 has fallen sharply to $150. However, raw prices have gone up a bit to $70. This is a bust graded and a boost raw, and this is a trend you're going to see throughout this 3-year review. Guys, this cover is sick, I'm not going to lie, but what are you paying for? You're paying for the cover. Component to this issue. And a 1-in-25 is not the easiest ratio variant to get. You know, you got to order 25 copies of a book. How many people were reading Rise of Kylo Ren? The only good thing is it was issue number 1. So there might be a few of them out there. Let's go to number 2. This is Crisis on Infinite Earths, number 1. This is the Walmart exclusive. If you recall, this was one of the first Walmart exclusives that sent comic book collectors snatching up as many copies as they could find. This led to false demand. With such a high print run, fans turned to online markets like eBay to track down a copy. This pushed raw sales to a height of $20. The supply eventually greatly surpassed demand. 3 years later, this rarely sells. And when it does, it's for a grand price of $3. What a bust. Talk about FOMO, guys. Don't fall for it, especially these massive print run books. Let's go to number 8. Yeah, let's go to number 8. Secret Invasion, number 1. This is the Gabriel Delgado variant. It was this time 3 years ago when Secret Invasion MCU rumors picked up in a big way. There was no official announcement, but MCU insiders reportedly that this is a big 2008 storyline, that this big 2008 storyline was coming. This helped a raw sale hit a height of $16, along with a cheap 9/8 getting cleared off eBay for a mere $30. Now, 3 years later, we finally received confirmation that Marvel was developing a Secret Invasion Disney Plus TV show. Upon this news, it reached a high of $280 in a 9.8. That was May of 2022. Today, raw copies are at break even at a current $16 near mint fair market value. However, 9/8 are at $130, a boost when compared to 3 years ago, despite a $150 drop in the last 6 months. Can this large print run series go back up? My opinion, no. Usually when these things hit that pop, they're going to, and that's it. We're not going to get a Secret Invasion season 2. I'd be very surprised. So these books are great for reading at this point. I mean, I'm sure you could find the trades for like $10. A lot of these covers, though, are really cool. I will say that through the entire run. There are some really good covers. Let's go to number 7. Miles Morales Spider-Man, number 13. This is the Raza 2020 variant. The first appearance of Billy Morales as a baby was one of the hottest new releases this time in 2019. This DJ Miles Morales Raza variant was instantly popular and trending at $15. 3 years later, we've seen Billy return from the future as an adult, cementing this as a key issue for the character. It ultimately hit a high sale of $597 for a 9.8 in 2022. Yet this is one of the oddest trending books that we've seen. Raw copies range from $78 to $200 in high grade, yet 9.8 graded copies sell for $164 to $196. The trend is very odd for raw copies to sell more than a graded copy, but it's happening. Does this mean the raw prices are overvalued or that the graded copies are undervalued? Regardless, this book is a boost from 3 years ago. I very rarely see that happening. Usually people just grab the graded copy. Usually the graded copy goes for more. This is just a strange one. Let's go to number 6. Philadelphia number 1 LCSD 2019 variant. 3 years ago, writer Rodney Barnes let it slip that his title has been optioned for TV. This news helped this local comic shop day variant to take the heat spotlight it was selling for a high of $13. 3 years later, we know that the news officially came months later, April 2020, that it was, in fact, in development as a TV show. However, it's been over 2 years with no additional news. With that said, the raw fair market value fell by $1 to its current $12, and the recent 9.8 sale at $57. This is kind of a break even, little bit of potential here. If things pick up with Philadelphia, if news starts to swirl, if something moves forward, chances are you can make a couple dollars on this because it is so cheap right now. Let's go to number 5. Doomsday Clock number 12. This issue was trending 3 years ago due to it featuring a battle between Dr. Manhattan versus Superman. That was enough of a sell to get comic fans to pick it up. It sold for a steady $14 of fans just wanting to read the issue. 3 years later, this price is pretty much a break even at its current $12 near mint fair market value. It also just reportedly hit a new high sale of $80 for a CGC 9.8. Sure, these are not prices to get super excited about, but the fact that a flavor of the week from 2019 didn't bottom out in value is interesting in its own right. The battle of Dr. Manhattan versus Superman proves to remain interesting and is likely not to happen again, keeping this as a comic shop chit-chat fun fact when someone asks the popular question, who would win? Just a fun book, guys. There's no real true key here. I didn't even get to read Doomsday Clock. I have the whole run. I might as well put it next to everything else I haven't gotten to read yet. Let's go to number 4. You've seen this book before. Yeah, I didn't mean to do that. This is Ultimate Fallout number 4. Here we go. You should all know by now that this is the first full appearance of Miles Morales. Even in 2019, this book was one of Covrprice's top-selling aftermarket books, seeing steady increase in value. 3 years ago, specifically, it had a surge in sales with this week raw copies trending at $90 and an all-new high sale of $380 for a 9.8. 3 years later, things are immensely changed for Miles. These 2019 market prices are salivating prices for any Miles fan or modern day comic collector, with new near mint fair market values at $450, $753 for a near mint plus, and $1,932 for a CGC 9.8. We're all wondering why we didn't buy more. Yet while we all knew that Miles had a lot of potential, no one knew that he would explode the way he has in just 3 years. While this hit a high of $4,499 in April of 2022, it's sharply dropping over the last several months to as low as $1,560 on November 21st. But with the recent Spider-Verse trailer heating things up for all things Spidey, it's heading back in the 2K range. So despite the decent and significant drops, this still is a pretty big boost for 3 years later. I mean, we've talked about Miles a lot. I don't know. This book has gone nuts over 3 years, but Miles has had a lot of stuff coming between the movie, the video game, now the second movie. There's a lot, and he's a fan favorite. There's a reason why that book is exploding. I mean, we probably all screwed up. It was probably extremely undervalued all this time anyway. Let's go to number 3. Astonishing X-Men number 6. Now, as you know, Sword and Abigail Brand first appeared in this issue. In 2019, set photos from WandaVision leaked out showing the sword symbol. This was enough to confirm the organization's first appearance in the MCU. Unconfirmed was whether Abigail Brand would appear in the series. Regardless, this pushed this issue to new highs of $18 raw, $80 in a 9.8. 3 years later, things are confusing when it comes to Emilia Clarke's appearance in the MCU. Speculation has ranged from her playing Brand, the Skrull Queen, Gia Aka, aka Nell, in the upcoming Secret Wars. While many think it's been confirmed that she'll be playing Gia, this news only is promoted by MCU scooper Daniel Richman. While his leaks tend to be pretty accurate, Marvel still has dropped enough hints to still support her portraying Abigail Brand. Specifically, they released a series of GIFs that include Clark's image stating It's the beginning of Abigail Brand. This does seem to be pretty straightforward, though others state that she's Gia pretending to be Abigail Brand. It's confusing, and right now it's a big unknown. The good news is confirmation is right around the corner. This debated speculation has helped this issue jump to its current $33 raw price and $190 in a 9.8. This book is a boost, and I don't know what else to get into. We're going to find out soon enough about Abigail Brand. Let's get to number 2. This is Miles Morales, Spider-Man number 13. Back to Billy's first appearance of Billy Morales as a baby when the first print was also selling really well at a high raw sale of $16. 3 years later, near mint raw copies currently at a fair market value of $40 and 9.8s at $100. We talked about this book earlier. Let's get to number 1, but before we do, I want to remind everybody, check out Covrprice.com. Check out Covrprice's YouTube channel. Give them a subscribe, watch their stuff, hit that thumbs up, and don't forget to do it in this video as well. All that information is down in the description below. Now, here comes our number 1 book from 2019. We're going back 3 years. Number 1 on the list. This is Star Wars: The Clone Wars number 1. Well, here's another big one. 3 years ago, this was the first time Ahsoka Tano was rumored to appear in the future Star Wars Disney Plus series. Her first appearance in this issue immediately heated up with raw sales at $100 and $320 for a 9.8. The variant also spiked in value to highs of $250 raw, $748 in a 9.8. Height of $4,200 in a 9.8 in 2021. For the standard issue. 3 years later, it turns out this rumor was very accurate, with Ahsoka appearing in The Mandalorian Season 2, and now she has her own solo series releasing in 2023. To say things has escalated is an understatement. Her rise to market value is very similar to that of Miles. Near mint raw copies sell for a fair market value of $779. 9.8's fair market value $1,625. Also, like Miles, Ahsoka also hit a massive high of $4,200 on a 9.8 in 2021. So despite that sharp fall, this is still a massive boost 3 years later. This is also a nice reminder that if you want a copy, now might be a good time to pick one up, as this could be as low as they go. I kind of agree with that. The thing that helped Ahsoka really, really well, or I should say a lot, was the fact that she was awesome on screen. They did a great job with Ahsoka in The Mandalorian. Everyone is excited for the Ahsoka series. Kind of also shows you Miles, that Miles got this big pop for a cartoon and a video game, and we haven't seen him in live action on the big screen. So there may even be room on the Miles book, as crazy as that sounds. I don't know if it's ever going to hit those 2021, 2022 numbers, but I think there is room for it to grow, which is crazy to say. Anyway, that is our list. Let's get out of here. Let's talk a little bit about Covrprice really quick, as well as the list we just went through. While many of the books on the list have dropped from their all-time high sales, overall, if you have invested in this top 10 3 years ago, you would have been doing very well today. The flavors of the week 3 years ago are still supported by either a desired cover, first appearance, or just fun content. Overall, this list is heavily skewed by 2 major winners in the form of Miles and Ahsoka. These are 2 characters who way overperformed in the aftermarket sales and are simply selling into their new, yet still high-priced norm. While some weeks are complete bust, this was one list that we wish we paid closer attention to in 2019. Guys, make sure you check out Covrprice.com for their top 10 movers and shakers list. Make sure you come back to the next show here. We're going back 1 year to Covrprice top 10. Again, Covrprice top 10, 1 year later. We'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much. And as always, keep it comics.